Got a pretty sweet center back to look at today. Let's check him out. Yes, today is Tanguy Nianzou. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I apologize. A French 20-year-old, no caps right now, but he's contracted to Sevilla, 15 and a half to 47 million, currently rated 66K per week as a squad player. He looks pretty nice. 20 years old, again, you hope a lot of these numbers grow. He does have some greens in jumping reach, determination, and aggression. But tackling of 13, you kind of hope that comes up a little bit. Technique of 13. Marking and pass 13 and 14. Heading of 16, that was fantastic. Off the ball 10, not the greatest. Positioning of 14 is pretty good. So he's got a lot of good numbers, all of which can grow, hopefully, if he's treated well at the club and gets some game time and all of that wonderful stuff, doesn't get injured. So we will have to see how the next 10 years fare for him. However, right now, I think he's got the sky's the limit right now. I mean, I believe it's at a negative 8.5 potential in the database itself. If we look at the milestones, he's got a lot of yellows. Made senior club debut, scored his first senior club for PSG. So we got to look at that. League One Conferama champions with PSG, DFL Super Cup winners to Bayern, Bundesliga champions, FIFA Club World Cup champions. He's got a ton of them, but he doesn't say anywhere that he's actually contracted to Sevilla. So if we go to the career stats, you can see PSG is where he starts, moved on a free to Bayern. That's funny enough. And then moved to Sevilla for 13.75 during this initial 22-23 season. So that is where we're going to begin. We'll see how he ends up in the next 10 years. I'm going to guess it's somewhere away from Sevilla, unless he's somehow magically brought them to champions. But let's take a look at the next 10 years. Well, as you can see, 2033 at the tail end of the season. He is 31 years old, has only a single cap to his name, but he's at Chelsea. He's moved from Sevilla to Chelsea a few years ago and has done very well for himself, I have to say. Look at the greens. Passing was actually 17 last year or 2 years ago. 16 heading. He's got a fantastic number of greens in there. Tackling of 14, marking of 14. Teamwork of 13 is not the greatest. I mean, it's good, but I still would like that better. 16 positioning. He looks definitely like one you need to scout start right at this very start. But Champions League, 12 appearances, 703. Premier League, 25 plus 2. Down a little, 699. So he's not doing all that well in the... I mean, he's doing fine, but not as well as I would hope in the Premier League. But still doing a very good job. As you can see, career stats-wise, he moved from Sevilla to Chelsea in the 28-29 season for 47 million. Has not made a full set of games yet, though. So, but still, I mean, 692, 699, 716. Overall, good. A little higher than average, but not lights out that I would expect. So I don't know technically what he would have reached in terms of his negative 8.5 potential. But I'm guessing maybe not quite there yet. But still, I mean, nothing to shake a stick at. Is he an actual? He's a regular starter, 175, not for sale. I mean, as you can see, he is one of soccer's global superstars. We'll get into his milestones in a minute, but he does have personal accolades as well as 9 winners' medals. But I guess I would have expected a little bit better, but still, I mean, he's doing pretty well. If we take a look at the milestones, you could see UEFA Europa League young player of the season. He bought by Chelsea, Champions League winner, Super Cup winners, first international cap against Ireland at age 29, and that's his only cap. He doesn't have a lot right there, so that's his one. It looks like that's his one personal accolade. A whole bunch of trophies with Bayern and PSG, of course, a couple with Chelsea. But yeah. Injury-wise, he has a bunch of them. A lot of slights, I will give you that. Fair amount of moderates. 3 majors. So a hip injury, though. Out for 2 months. Torn thigh, torn hamstring, all before the start of the game. But calf strain, moderate, 4 weeks. So he'll get an injury. It just kind of depends on whether it's going to be a slight or a moderate. And then the occasional major. I wouldn't be surprised if we had one more major or at least a couple more moderates before he retires. Tactically, played as a DM mostly in 29 appearances, 2 assists, center back 12 for club and 1 goal. Internationally, only the 1 appearance with a midfield center, 6-7-0. So he does have some versatility in that central kind of midfield and down. So center back, DM, and the central midfielder, but and a little bit on the DR. So he must have played there at least once or twice. So that really does it. I mean, we'll see when he retires in a minute. But I mean, he's definitely one to scout. I would highly suggest that just to see how he's doing. Keep tabs on him throughout the years. And yeah, bring him in if you can. I mean, it shouldn't be astronomical amount, but you know, it may be higher than a 20 million pound move. So 2038 is when he retires. He's 36 years old. He actually brought up the cap amount, 14 caps now. You can see he's actually at Porto via PSG again, a second round at that. But he plans to retire at the end of this season. His contract expires in 17 days. He still looks pretty nice technically, mentally. Yeah, acceleration is down, pace is way down. So the physicals, as you would expect, is where you get it. But career stats, in 2035-36, he moved from Chelsea to PSG, back to PSG, I should say, 18.25. Wow, 13 appearances, 7.38 average rating. He did a fantastic job the last part of his Chelsea career up until his, basically his retirement. Moved to FC Porto, 37-38, 5.25 million, 29 appearances, 2 goals, 2 assists, 2 player of the match awards, and 7.22 average rating. Definitely I've got to say, a pretty good career, especially that tail end is really nice. Milestones, you can see 2036 Ligue 1 Conferama champions, again in 37. Moved to Porto, the De Oliveira winners. So he's still got a lot more, or a couple more trophies at least in the cabinet. Injuries, yeah, he's got a bunch more. Slights, some moderates, definitely, 4 moderates. No majors, which I was wrong about, but the moderates I was. So definitely going to get them. Definitely going to have some time off the bench, off the pitch. Used for Porto much more as a center back here. 30 for club, 2 goals, 7.17. As a central midfielder, 5 for club, 7.24. So, primarily as a center back, but still, with that versatility up and down that central side, it definitely helps him in getting some games. But overall, definitely one to scout, like I said. He could grow to be an absolute beast. He could fizzle out. Who knows what his career is going to do in your save, especially when you've got that -8.5. It's such a range in there. But he looks fantastic in this save. I would definitely look at him and keep an eye on it just to pick him up for most of the teams that I would be taking a look at. But that is it for Tanguy Nianzou. I don't know. But I am Safin FM for the Football Manager blog channel saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.